One of the most mysterious British Leyland lost projects is Project Condor, an incredible coupe that could have beaten Ford at its own game. But by 1971, the Condor was cancelled, thanks to the internal struggle and rampant strike action that set BL on the path to disaster. A winning strategy lost, with an incredible coupe lost to time. This is the story of Condor, Project ADO68, a Roy Haynes designed coupe that could have been British Leyland's answer to the Ford Capri and Opel Manta. In this video we dive into this mystery and how British Leyland passed up a successful formula, which would later be exploited by other major car manufacturers to gain dominance. From the incredible coupe to righting the wrongs of the Marina, this is Condor, the lost BL coupe. Hello everybody and welcome to this video. If you're not subscribed already, please make sure to do so. It really does help me out and you get to see more of this. More cool projects, more history videos and more obscure prototypes. Do you have any BL memories and what's your opinion on Project Condor? Do you think it could have been the Capri beater that BL had hoped? Let me know in the comments below. Drop a like on the video if you liked it, but without further delay, let's get into the mystery of Project Condor. British Leyland, formed in 1968, inherited the most sought-after talent, technology and marques Britain had to offer. Cars like the luxury sporting Triumph 2.5 Pi, advanced Rover P6, the incredible big cats of Jaguar from the 240 to the E-Type, and at the volume end of the market, the best-selling at the time Austin Morris ADO16, 1100 and 1300, with advanced hydrogas suspension which could be applied to many models, as demonstrated with ADO61, the Austin 3 litre, an advanced luxury saloon. Projects and unreleased cars were also acquired. BL had the pick of some of the best the car industry had to offer, thanks in no large part to it absorbing nearly all of Britain's car manufacturers. From MG came ADO21, an E-Series powered mid-engined MG, more akin to a Ferrari than the cars it would share the showroom space with. This incredible project would incorporate advanced suspension design, going up against the best of the best, a car far ahead of its time. The Rover P8, an advanced luxury saloon to replace the class-leading Rover P5, with advanced anti-roll suspension developed thanks to the use of the Rover P7, a P6 test mule that could literally pick itself up off the ground, providing incredible handling characteristics. There are more prototypes and amazing cars that could have been. I've covered these in my other videos, so check out those for more lost cars. This is linked in the description below. Previously, BMC had experimented with platform shares. In 1960, with ADO 34, 35 and 36, MGs and Austin Healey's would be produced based on the Mini, creating a convertible MG and a coupe designed by Pininfarina, as well as the new Austin Healey ADO 36 versions based on these cars. This concept of platform sharing would be seriously explored but sadly not executed, with many prototypes created. The project would be cancelled in 1964. This strategy years later was being used to great success, especially by Ford. BMC naturally wanted another chance at its own platform share coupe. Enter Project Condor. Roy Haynes, recruited by BMC in 1967, was on a mission to continuously produce amazing cars. Previously, Roy worked for Ford as the model line director for Europe and was responsible for some of the most popular Fords at the time, the 1966 Ford Cortina Mark II, the Zodiac and the Zephyr Mark IV. These cars cemented Roy as one of the most incredible designers of cars at the time. Employed by BMC under the pressed steel Fisher Styling Studios in Cowley, Roy and his team were on a mission to create the same success for BMC. With the influence of Roy taking hold within the department, it was decided that BMC should follow the same concept and pick up the work that they had previously discarded. This concept was currently being used by one of the most successful relationships in 20th century motoring, the Ford Capri and the Cortina. An everyman sports car based mechanically on their everyman saloon, slashing R&D and production costs. Mechanically near identical, but on the surface completely different cars. Both of these models on launch would be highly successful, with each helping boost sales for its related model. Roy and his team would devise a new model line for BMC, Project Condor, in 1967. Work started in the late 60s on this car to create a range topper, an everyday aspirational coupe for the masses. A cultural icon to beat Ford's Capri at its own game. Condor would be a platform share, a rebodied version of its counterpart models, with their only difference being their styling, sharing as many components as possible to achieve the same benefits of the Capri and Cortina's relationship, but for BMC, which was now in 1968 part of the British Leyland Empire. The Condor was progressing nicely. The first model would then be created, a full-size design mock-up. The new car was designed to use its companion model's chassis, but with a 6-inch stretch to the wheelbase to fit in with its sporting proportions. It's easy to see where this car would sit and how much of an impact it could have had on the public consciousness if executed correctly. With a new body, muscle car-inspired front end and elegant proportions, the team were onto a winner. There were even proposals to create other models to liven up BL's range based on its currently in development cars. The Morris Marina would become ADO 6828, a Marina coupe with correctly lengthened doors, as opposed to the Marina coupe that would eventually be released with the saloon front doors fitted. The Maxi would become ADO 6814, designed by Harris Mann. This would echo the design of the currently in development Princess. The Allegro would morph into ADO 6867, with a twin headlight arrangement, swooping back end and a new grille, which looks similar to Vauxhall's Victor FE. These proposals were created to give glamour to the up-and-coming BL range, but without a doubt the star of the show was the original Condor coupe. There was, however, another coupe also being developed at the time, the ADO 70 Calypso. Created by Harry Webster as a low-cost fun car for the US market, it would be based on the Mini, in another attempt to execute a successful platform share. A Mini 1275 GT would be sent to Michelotti in Turin to create a new body and modify the Mini to create the new concept coupe. But there would be a problem, a British Leyland-sized problem. At the time, the Great British Experiment, British Leyland, was running into issues. Too many competing models, internal politics, and the sheer size of the company would start to take its toll early on. BL would then start to become a victim of the very thing that helped kill its main rival, the Roots Group, the strikes and industrial unrest that would plague its life and legacy. Lord Stokes, chairman of British Leyland, in a speech dated 25th of February 1970, would summarise the problem. In the first 4 months of the company's financial year, strikes and the squeeze have hit the company so hard we have not made a profit. We have had in our own plants, and those of our suppliers, walkouts, go-slows, work-to-rule tactics, working without enthusiasm or other associated activities, very often led by small militant minorities. It is becoming increasingly obvious that the industrial relations system of this country must be based on a framework of law, which could well include ballots impartially administered on a mutually agreed basis. The disruptions we are suffering are now so frequent and taking up so much time that the strain on our factory management is becoming intolerable. Perhaps that is the aim of the people stirring up trouble. I cannot believe that this state of anarchy is what the majority of our workers really want. I do not believe that all our stoppages of work result from genuine grievances. They are such a regular feature of our daily lives, they can only be planned and deliberate disruption for its own sake. Thanks to the turmoil at the time, there was simply not enough budget to develop so many new models. As a result of all the factors at play, industrial unrest, poor management and internal politics, for many projects this would be the end. The question would be which ones. At the same time, ADO 70 would make its return home, driving back from Italy to the UK under its own power. But sadly, on its return home, it would receive a critical reception, which would result in its cancellation before being explored further. ADO 70's cancellation in 1970 would be echoed with many other projects. The car 20 years ahead of its time, the advanced sports car MG ADO 21, would also be cancelled. These issues wouldn't just affect projects. Marques like Triumph would see projects cancelled and would receive little investment, resulting in their decline. Management would then cancel the Condor, with a winning strategy lost. BL simply did not have the capacity thanks to the turmoil at the time. Compared to its rival VW in 1972, its output per employee was half, as well as its new car sales per employee, thanks to the action at the time. These figures were telling of a lack of efficiency. The once proud Condor is now a rare bird, with the models being lost to time, believed to have been destroyed, ending the promise of British Leyland's intermodal success before it had even started. ADO 21 in Abingdon would also be destroyed. ADO 70, after its return and rejection, would languish in a car park, abandoned. It would later be restored by the British Motor Museum and is currently on display in Gaydon. The cancellation of the Condor was inevitable, but sadly premature in my opinion. If BL had kept the Condor going, it could have been an incredible success, but of course it was not meant to be. Ford's Capri, in its Mark I form, would sell 1.7 million units. Let me know what you think of the Condor and its related projects in the comments below. But as always, thank you for watching, keep watching and remember to subscribe for more of this, and I'll see you in the next one. And if you have any cars you'd like me to cover, drop a suggestion in the comments below. But this video isn't over yet. Each era is defined by the cars and the people who made them, decade by decade, from triumph to disaster. This new series is the British car industry, decade by decade.